everyone! So first video review for this week is for Conduit, which is the second book in the Enchanter series by K.F. Bradshaw. If you want to check out my Goodreads review, I did just post that the other day. So if you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description below, and if you are on Facebook or on my blog, there is a link within the post. And this is the video review. So this was another exciting adventure. When I first met these characters in the first book in the trilogy Enchanters, you were really sort of just getting to know them. So now you're back with Cassie and Andrea, and they're living in the City of Towers. And as Royal Enchanter, Andrea, she is busy as ever. However, they have to go on a journey, so it wouldn't be much of an adventure if they just lived in the City of Towers now, would it? So they have to go on an adventure to a neighbouring empire and help them come to terms with the return of magic, and hopefully sort of lay to rest any outstanding feuds with that neighbouring empire between their city and obviously any cities there. So Andrea, she has much to sort of face to deal with finding out the consequences of having sort of returned magic to the land, and she has Cassie to protect her and love her, and together they do try to work through all that stands in their way, but they soon find that there is a lot more, and there are a lot of consequences to having returned magic to Damea, and it's beyond what they could have imagined. So it really is an adventure with them this time, and it really was a brilliant adventure. It gave them time to develop further as characters, which I really liked. You got to get a little bit more insight into Andrea and Cassie, their behaviours, what they sort of act like, and then you also got that building on their relationship that was established very lightly sort of within the first book, so you're getting a lot more of it now. And it would be advisable to read the first book before you read Conduit, because Enchanters really sets you up for this. But I would say you could get away reading this. K.F. Bradshaw's given you enough detailed backstory to understand what is going on, but you really are missing out on the whole sort of adventure of the whole thing if you don't read the first book in the trilogy first. But if you happen to come across this one and you read it not knowing it's part of a trilogy, you would get enough background to be able to decipher what has happened in the past and how it all sort of links up. But I loved how adventurous this was. The journey and the new personal level for both Cassie and Andrea, because there was a lot more at stake between them this time. Last time it was about restoring the magic. This time it was about not only sort of working out how the magic works, but themselves figuring out how they fit into each other's lives and the impacts that their decisions are going to have on one another. So I adored the plot twists and turns in this sort of addition to the trilogy, and I couldn't have predicted them, I suppose. It was really quite an unpredictable second instalment. There was a lot I wasn't expecting, and I didn't have a clue that this was the direction this adventure was going to take. I genuinely had no idea and was pleasantly surprised, and I was really excited to go on this journey with them. Having been on their first journey and experienced everything they went through to go through bringing magic back, so there's always consequences with magic, you know, the famous saying, and there's always something that might go wrong, and that's what you're waiting for in this book. That's what you're waiting for every minute of that, and sort of that intense moment of when are they going to find out the consequences of what they did. This installment really only added to my excitement for the third book in this trilogy. Like, I cannot wait to find out what happens next with Andrea and Cassie. It's going to be one hell of a ride, I can imagine. So I think there's a lot more in store for Cassie and Andrea, and I really can't wait to find out what it is. This was a very intriguing mystery adventure. It's perfect YA fantasy. It's really easy to follow. So if you think sort of fantasy isn't your thing and you want to give it a go, these are brilliant books to introduce you to it, because they're quite light-hearted in terms of there's not too much to overcomplicate them. It really is a simple story of adventure, and it's full of wonder, and I would really recommend this. It's a really good YA fantasy sort of trilogy series, and I can't wait for, like I say, the third book. I'm really excited to find out what the future has in store for Cassie and Andrea and everyone else that is influenced and affected by magic being returned to Damea. So I really can't wait to find out what happens. I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and grab yourselves a copy of Conduit. I hope you will. I hope you'll check out the whole trilogy and give it a go. If you haven't read Conduit by K.F. Bradshaw. I hope you will. If you have read it, please get in touch, please comment below. It's always great to hear your thoughts on the series, or just the second book in the series, however much of it you've read. It'd be great to hear your thoughts, and if you do grab a copy of it, I really hope you enjoy it. Bye!